Live from Bakersville, North Carolina, this is the 1A Western Regional Final right here on Facebook. Good to have you with us here on the Graham Star Facebook page as we come to you from Memorial Stadium here at Mitchell High School for tonight's 1A Western Final between the Robbinsville Black Knights and the hosting Mitchell Mountaineers. Kevin Hensley with you on the call tonight, high above Memorial Stadium. Very privileged we bring you this game for the final time this season here on the Graham Star Facebook page, and we'll be with you for the duration. Back in just a few minutes, folks. Stay with us here on Facebook. Welcome back to Bakersville for the 1A Western Regional Final here in Mitchell County. It's the Mitchell Mountaineers hosting the Robbinsville Black Knights. Good to have you with us here on Facebook Live, wherever you may be tuning in. It's always a pleasure bringing you these games here on the Graham Star Facebook page. The Graham Star providing unparalleled news coverage from and around Graham County since 1955. Captains have made their way out onto the field, and we're going to zoom in here to try to get the opening coin toss in just a moment. Making their way over on the Robbinsville sideline are the usual three: Carlos Wesley, number 56, Dason Gross, number 14, and Brock Adams, number 2. Wesley and Gross, of course, seniors. Adams, a junior receiver for the Knights, has been very valuable this year on the passing game. Gross really came into his own last week at home against Murphy, 9 of 11, or 136 yards. 7 third down conversion passes, and Gross really made a name for himself last week in that third round playoff game. Wesley, of course, has been dominant on the line this year. Pick a tackle, and he's probably been involved in it in some form or fashion. Gutted his way out after a couple of nagging injuries this season. Meanwhile, Mitchell is spurned on their offense by Ty Turbyfield, junior quarterback, who leads the team in both passing yards and rushing yards. So he's a dual attack in the backfield. And while the Robbinsville players are lined up and set to go, the Mitchell players are about to make their entrance from their home tunnel here on the left side of the camera, just out of our camera view, as a matter of fact. But it is one of the cooler entrances in Western North Carolina. About 5 minutes away from kickoff now. We're awaiting the Mountaineers captains who just made their way onto the field. The captains tonight are number 65, Xander Gardner, number 3, Gabe Brandt, number 22, Carter Hoyle, and number 88. We don't have him on our roster. Sorry about that. I'll have to find out who number 88 is. He's not on our Max Preps roster. Connor Buchanan was number 88. He has swapped jerseys on us. We've got a very accommodating press box here at Memorial Stadium. We just want to give a shout out to them for helping us get set up tonight. Very welcoming atmosphere up here at Mitchell tonight, and the captains finally making their way out onto the field for the opening coin toss.
They had 1A and they had 1AA because they were having 8 playoffs, and of course they were running around.
Fans watching all over the states, it looks like, and we are very privileged to have you here as we bring you the final telecast of the season here on the Graham Star Facebook page. Of course, the Knights' victory tonight will stamp the second state appearance in 3 years, but that game will be carried by the NFHS network. And just about set to flip the coin here at the 50. And the flip is up, and it looks like they're talking to Mitchell, so they must have won the coin toss. Mitchell will win the toss, and they will receive the opening kickoff. So the Mountaineers will be getting the opening kickoff, and that brings the crowd here in Bakersville to their feet. And I know we got a really cool entrance about to take place to our left, but you know what? This is the Graham Star Facebook page. We're going to go to the right, and we're going to watch our boys run in here. The 10-3 Robbinsville Black Knights in their 4th straight Western Regional Final appearance. Three-time defending Smoky Mountain Conference champions, a very special, talented group, as Robbinsville is in a hot pursuit of its 15th state championship in program history. And the Mountaineers making their way out onto the field. Smoke galore filling the stadium, and it's going to hover for a minute. And here come the Knights, your 3-time defending conference champions. and their fourth straight Western Regional appearance, as we just mentioned. Crowd on their feet. A great atmosphere tonight here at Memorial Stadium. We're going to try to keep tabs on the other game tonight. Of course, the winner of this one will get the winner of Pender and Tarboro next week. That game will be played at Keenan Stadium on the campus of UNC Chapel Hill. Kickoff for that game will be at noon next Saturday in Chapel Hill. Tarboro Vikings, of course, an Eastern stalwart in the finals. They are 12-1 this season, and the Pender Patriots, their opposition, 10-3, and have never made it to a state championship. So the Knights will be kicking off as you see number 7, Cody Klein, jogging onto the field to kick the ball off. We don't want to zoom in too much farther, folks. We're going to try to keep it as in focus as we can. High above the stadium, but we got a great angle, and we're very privileged we bring you this game here on the Graham Star Facebook page. And don't forget, folks, when all these games are out of the way this season, we will have all of these games archived and available for viewing at your leisure on our YouTube page. Just search for the Graham Star and make sure you subscribe. We get more subscribers, we might be able to go live through YouTube and enhance our presentation. Hint, hint. And Cody Klein lined up for the opening kickoff. Back deep to receive, number 4, Chase Duncan, and number 11. And the game is underway. Kickoff snagged. And they'll get up to about the the 32-yard line, I beg your pardon. And that's where the Mountaineers will begin their first drive, 1st and 10. At the 30, I believe that looks like the 32-yard line. And we're just about set to go. Ty Turbyfield, the junior quarterback for the Mountaineers, back in the backfield. And as we mentioned, a dual threat on the offense. He's going to hand off. Number 30, Adrian McFalls on the carry. Gain of 3 on the play. He's going to bring up 2nd down and 7.
Do we have a 32? I'm sorry. Enrique or Rocco?
So 2nd down and 7. And we'll try to keep you posted as much as we can on downs and time. Just bear with us tonight, folks. Turbyfield is going to keep it here on 2nd and 7. Tackle missed. And finally wrapped up Isaac Wiggins, senior for Robbinsville, senior defensive back, able to trip up Turbyfield, but he got a few yards on that. Yes, folks, there's going to be a glare tonight. We are inside the press box, and the windows do not open, so bear with us on that as well. The smoke from the Mountaineers entrance starting to linger across the field here in our vision as well. It is obviously a very, very warm night, so this fog should dissipate rather quickly. Gain of 4 on that play is going to bring up 3rd down and 3. And handoff again. And that'll be enough for a Mountaineers 1st down on the carry that time. Number 32, Enrique Huraco. So that's a 1st down for Mitchell. 3 plays, and they convert it out to the 44-yard line. So a 6-yard run gets them what they need. And it's 1st and 10. Screen should be cleared up now. Run right up the gut that time. And that'll give them about a 5-yard gain. Robbinsville trying to fold in on that drive up the gut, and so far unable to slow it down. This is going to be a very run-heavy game, folks. Just don't expect too much passing. I may be wrong, but both programs rely on the run, like you see there from quarterback Ty Turbyfield, who got a nice opening. Eddie Brooms and Dalton Hill able to wrap him up at the Knights' 40-yard line, but that was a good gain of 11 for Turbyfield on the keeper. And that's another 1st down for the Mountaineers. 5 plays, 2 times they moved the chains. We've already eclipsed 1,000 viewers tonight here on our Facebook stream, and I'm sure that number is going to grow. A lot of interest. Obviously, winner of this one goes to state, so everybody's got their eyes tonight here on Bakersville. 9:35 left to go here in the first quarter, and no score at Memorial Stadium. Turbyfield is going to keep it again, but this time he's going to get caught about 2 or 3 yards into the gut. In on the tackle, number 33, Cage Williams for Robbinsville. Looks like they're going to give him 3 yards. 2nd down and 7 for the Mountaineers. Nine minutes to go here in the first segment. Second and 7 now for Mitchell. Men with Cha-Cha and Eddie Broom scramble to get into position. Handoff's going to go to number 4. That's Chase Duncan on the carry. Duncan on the cut. Tackled by Cutler Adams for Robbinsville. And a gain of 2 is going to bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Mountaineers at the Robbinsville 35-yard line. So the Knights have got to stop this. This drive has already expanded 7 plays. And the Mountaineers are meticulously working their way into Robbinsville territory here in the first quarter. 8:14 to go here on the clock.
All right, Robbinsville's ready.
Turbyfield's going to pass. First pass of the game. Incomplete. Broken up. Good defense by Cutler Adams. Intended target, number 3, Gabe Brandt. And they'll go 4th and 5 from the Robbinsville 35. And deep in Robbinsville territory, or deep into the game now, Mitchell has no choice but to go for it here on 4th and 5. See if the Knights can stop the Mountaineers drive where it stands, and unable to draw the Knights off sides, so they're going to have to re-strategize. Ty Turbyfield gets his orders from the sideline. 4th and 5. Turbyfield's going to keep it, and he's going to get enough for a Mitchell first down. He's still on his feet. Breaks a tackle. He is loose. Touchdown, Mountaineers. Wow, what a great play. Some good blocking on the interior. Really opened up a hole there for Turbyfield, who escaped danger right outside the pocket and sprinted to the end zone 35 yards. And the Mountaineers have struck first at 6-0 with 7:51 left to go here in the first quarter. And Ben Wassinger will kick the ball on the PAT. It's up, and it is good. Stay with us, folks, here on Facebook. 7:51 to go, 7-0. Mitchell has struck first. Welcome back here on Facebook Live. 7-0 Mitchell has struck first with 7:51 to go here in the first quarter. Tarboro and Pender are tied 6-all in the first quarter in the Eastern Regional Final. Kickoff snagged by Brock Adams at the 19, and he's going to get stopped at the 25. Tackle made by number 26, that's Gage Young for the Mountaineers. And Robbinsville will have to start its first drive at the 25-yard line. So the Knights making their offensive debut tonight. Let's see what they come up with here on their first snaps of the game. Pitch goes to Cutler Adams. Round the left side. He'll get enough for a first down, I believe. We'll see where they mark it, but he's right at the 10-yard line. And they're going to go ahead and motion for the chains to move. So Cutler Adams, one pitch, one first down. Just like that, the Knights out to the 35. Handoff goes to Cage Williams that time, and he is stuffed at the line of scrimmage by a throng of Mountaineers, led by number 65, Xander Gardner. They'll give him a yard, 2nd and 9.
I have never seen any unsportsmanlike behavior from the Buckeyes.
Pitch goes to Adams again. And they get snuffed out that time. Way to get about 4 yards, though, for the sophomore running back, who's already eclipsed 2,300 yards in his career for Robbinsville. And a gain of 4 is going to bring up 3rd down and 5. And the Mountaineers come to their feet, as do the Robbinsville faithful, cheering on their crowd. Here to turn on their team here on 3rd and 5. Gross is going to roll out to pass. Picked off, intercepted by number. Can't make out who it is. Big celebration. That's number 26. Gage Young on the pick. And the Mountaineers will take over now. 1st and 10 at the Robbinsville 30. Handoff on 1st and 10 goes to Enrique Huraco. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. $5:57 to go. The Mountaineers lead this one 7-0. And a Gage Young pick has changed things now, as the Mountaineers have a chance to make this a 2-score game here in the early going. Turbyfield's going to keep it. He's still on his feet, wrapped up low and tackled by Brock Adams. Adams hitting him low is the only thing that stopped him from going to the house again. They're going to give Turbyfield 9 yards, but that's enough for a Mountaineers first down at the 16-yard line.
Actually, they're going to call it 1st and 5, so they didn't quite make that down.
5:22 to go here in the first quarter. Turbyfield's going to keep it again. That's a good blocking from that line to get us some holes opened up. Tackled that time by number 56, Carlos Wesley. And a gain of 6 for Turbyfield. He's quick on his feet. As we mentioned, a dual threat in that backfield for the Mountaineers. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 4 for Mitchell with 4:51 to go here in the first quarter. Handoff that time around the left side. That goes to number 4, Chase Duncan. Wrapped up and tackled by Cage Williams for Robbinsville. But Mitchell has worked its way up to the Knights' 7-yard line deep in the end zone and now in the goal line territory. Duncan able to pick up 7 yards on that. And it'll be 1st and goal now for the Mountaineers at the 7-yard line. 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Mitchell leads 7-0. And Turbyfield weaves and wobbles through the Robbinsville defense. And that is a touchdown for the Mountaineers off the interception by Gage Young. 7-yard touchdown run for the quarterback, Ty Turbyfield. He's scored both of them so far tonight for the Mountaineers, and it's 13-0. But they may call that one back. It's going to be a hold against Mitchell. So that does negate the touchdown. And instead of it being a 13-0 Mountaineers lead, Mitchell will have to try it again at the 16. And it's 3rd and 10. Turbyfield's going to pass it. It's complete. And Ethan Willis on the reception for the Mountaineers. It's like he got up to about the 9-yard line, so a 7-yard completion. Just the second pass of the game for the Mountaineers. 7 yards. And it's going to bring up a 4th and call it 3, about 3.5. Mitchell's going to go for it again. Turbyfield's going to keep it inside the line. I believe he'll have enough for the first down. They're going to say that he does. About a gain of 4 or 5 on that. It's going to move the chains again. So Mitchell avoids disaster. They're able to move the chains on 4th down. And the ball up to the 4-yard line.
Saturday, December the 11th at Keenan Stadium at UNC Chapel Hill.
So first and 10 for Mitchell now, and Turbyfield's going to keep it. Squeak across the goal line. They got stopped a yard short. It's a deep dive, and we thought Turbyfield made it in there, but it looks like he's going to get stopped just short of it at the 1. Actually going to mark it at the 2, so a 2-yard gain. Beg your pardon. 2nd and goal. 2:16 remaining here in the first quarter.
Provided Robbinsville pulls the game out, and we have quite an entertaining game for the rest of the evening. The playoff, the 1A championship will be Saturday, December 11th at noon at Keenan Stadium at UNC Chapel Hill. That's a 5-hour drive from Robbinsville. And here comes number 2.
Turbyfield drops back here on 2nd down. He's going to keep it again. This time, he's going to break the plane. That's all he had to do. And it's a clean touchdown this time. They have signaled touchdown for the Mountaineers. Turbyfield has done it again, this time on a short 2-yard run. And it's 13-0. Mitchell has opened up a 2 here on Facebook Live. And welcome back here on Facebook Live. 1:44 to go here from Memorial Stadium in Bakersville, North Carolina. And the Knights are in a 2-score hole already against the number 3 ranked Mitchell Mountaineers, playing host tonight to the Knights in the 1A Western Regional Final. Kickoff from Weisinger is good. All the way back to the 5. Brock Adams is going to try to carry it out from deep. And he gets up to the 21-yard line, and that's about as far as he gets. So about a 17-yard return for Adams. They're actually going to mark it to 21, so a 16-yard return. And that's where Robbinsville begins their next drive, 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Cutler Adams. And Adams powers his way up to the 15-yard line. I'll actually mark it at about the 24 and a half. Second and 7 now. Gross under center, handoff. No, he fakes it, pitch. He's going to go around to the left side to Adams. Still on his feet, runs out of bounds, out of trouble. But that is enough to move the chains and give Robbinsville a first down. Ball out to the 34 now. Minute to go here in the first quarter. It is 14-0 Mitchell. Handoff to Adams again. And he's going to cut and get about 5 yards on that carry. Looks like it's going to be 2nd and 6 for Robbinsville. Clock running, 30 seconds left. This is probably the final play of the quarter. Adams again is going to be the ball handler, and he might have got a yard on that one. 12-6 Tarboro is in the lead in the Eastern Final. The winner of this one will get to play the winner of Tarboro and Pender in the state title game next week. So a 1-yard gain, about 10 seconds left, and the Knights are going to break the huddle and try to get one more play in before the end of the quarter. And I don't believe they're going to get it off in time. That's going to be it. 14-0. Mitchell has opened up a 2-score lead over the Knights. Stay with us. Back in just a moment here on Facebook Live. Welcome back here on Facebook Live. 14-0 Robbinsville trying to dig itself out of an early hole here in the 1A Western Regional Final. And on third down, Cutler Adams has stopped a yard short of the line of scrimmage. That's going to bring up 4th and 6. So Robbinsville unable to convert, and Isaac Wiggins drops back to punt to begin the second quarter here for the Knights. Down 14-0 at Memorial Stadium on the campus of Mitchell High School. Punt trickles out to the 30-yard line, and it'll die right in that area, and that's where Mitchell will begin his next drive, 1st and 10. Ty Turbyfield has scored 2 touchdowns for the Mountaineers tonight to help out their offense, coupled with a pair of Ben Wassinger PATs. First and 10 now for Mitchell. Handoff goes to Carter Hoyle for the Mountaineers. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Second and 8 as Robbinsville has got to stop a Mountaineers possession, or they're going to be in a deep hole here in the second quarter of this 1A Western Regional Final. Some in the stands thinking the Knights had jumped off sides, but nothing doing on the officials. And looks like Mitchell is going to call its first time out of the game. And we will stay with the Knights as they jog to the sideline. 14-0 with 10:27 left in the first half. And welcome back to Bakersville for the Mitchell Mountaineers and the Robbinsville Black Knights. The winner of this one will punch their ticket to the 1A state championship game to be played next Saturday at UNC Chapel Hill. Kickoff for that game will be at noon. Turbyfield on the keeper, 2nd and 8. And coming up off the tackle, number 56, Carlos Wesley, and number 77, Titan Teesteski. Gain of 2 makes it 3rd and 6. And Mitchell strategizing. But Robbinsville able to out of hand there. However, Mitchell moves the chains and out to the 43-yard line. So a 9-yard reception for Hollifield gives the Mountaineers a fresh set of downs with 9:12 to go here in the second quarter. Turbyfield is going to keep it again. Still on his feet. Nobody able to bring him down until Cutler Adams got him in the secondary. Gain of 13 on that keeper for Turbyfield. And another Mountaineers first down. They are now in Robbinsville territory. Mitchell leads 14-0 with 8:43 left here in the second quarter. Tarboro leading Pender 12-6 in the Eastern Regional Final right now. That game in the second quarter. Turbyfield is going to keep here on first down. Wrapped up that time from behind and tackled by Titan Teesteski. Helping out the cause, number 32, Jude Campbell. Gain of 6 on the play, 5, make that, excuse me. Out to the 38-yard line. 2nd and 5 for Mitchell. And we're giving him 6 yards, check that. So it is 2nd and 4 at the Robbinsville 38-yard line. Turbyfield being very evasive inside. And the Knights are going to have to do some strategizing at halftime to stop that run. He is a dual threat. That time he got about 3 yards. And it's going to be enough for a first down, so 4 yards for Turbyfield. Handoff goes to number 3, Gabe Brandt on the carry. Check out, that's Turbyfield on the carry, excuse me. And another 6-yard run for Turbyfield. Robbinsville's interior just has no answers for Turbyfield on these keepers. Dives, keepers galore, and Turbyfield is running all over the Robbinsville defense at the moment. There are a lot of spam links trying to sneak on here, folks. Do not be deceived. This is the only legitimate stream of this game tonight, sanctioned by the state of North Carolina. And a flag on the play. It's going to be false start against Mitchell. And that's going to back him up to the 33-yard line. We have some feedback here in the press box. Not sure what that is. Hopefully that will dissipate pretty quickly. Apologize if that's coming through on the mic, folks. Not sure what's going on. But a breather, second penalty of the game, both against Mitchell. Holding call on the second drive of the game, and now a false start. Mountaineers will now have to do it 2nd and 10 from the 33. Have 6:10 left to go. And a timeout call by the Mountaineers. That's their second one of the half, and we'll pause with them. Stay with us for the 1A Western Regional Final. You're watching the Graham Star Facebook page. And welcome back. It is 14-0 from Mitchell as the Mountaineers are leading the Black Knights here in the 1A Western Regional Final. Mountaineers have come a long way since losing to Andrews earlier this season. Mountaineers have been on a hot streak. Turbyfield is going to air it out, and he's hit as he catches it. Great reception by number 26. That's Gage Young on the catch. Hit on the reception, and great hands to hold on to that ball out to the 29-yard line. 3rd down and 2. A lot of football left to be played tonight here in Mitchell County. But the Knights are going to have to come up with some answers for Turbyfield at the break. He has been running all over the Robbinsville interior. There he is again, able to squeak around to the left side. I believe a flag came out on that play. And we'll see what the infraction was. They're going to call a personal foul. It's a chop block against the Mountaineers. So that penalty will back them up, I believe, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. And it'll now be 3rd down and about 16. Mitchell all the way back to the 41-yard line now. Check out his 3rd and 18 at the 41. And that may be the gasp that Robbinsville needed there. And Mountaineers lining up. 5:12 left to go here in the first half. Turbyfield drops back to pass. Under pressure, hit hard for a huge sack. My word, what a shot by Benjamin Wachacha, senior, for Robbinsville. And that is a huge stop for the Knights. Very much needed for this Knights defense. An amazing shot by Wachacha. And Turbyfield will fill that one in the morning. And at long last, the Knights have managed to stymie the Mountaineers' offense. And Mitchell now all the way back on a 7-yard loss at the 48-yard line. They'll have to punt for the first time tonight. Ben Wassinger back for the punt. Cutler Adams and Brock Adams back for the reception. And they're going to call Brock Adams tried to run with it and slipped on a cut. Thought he called a fair catch, and then he took off and got about a yard before he slipped and fell. So the Knights will have to begin things now at the 15-yard line. So Robbinsville at long last stops the Mitchell offense. Check out the 16-yard line. So I'll give Adams about a yard on that return before he slipped up. 1st and 10 here in the second quarter. Mitchell leading 14-0. Gross rolls out on 1st down. Pass complete to Brock Adams. He's still on his feet, and he's wrapped up and tackled. Great catch by junior Brock Adams. That's enough to move the chains and give Robbinsville a 1st down. And don't look now, the Knights may be stringing together some offense. Once Robbinsville gets going, they are tough to stop. Handoff to Cage Williams, sophomore fullback for the Knights. So many yards they give him on that carry. Check that. It's going to be a hold against Robbinsville. And the Knights will have to back up and try it again. First penalty tonight for the Knights, and it comes with 3:50 left here in the first half. And I'll have to try it again now from the 17.5-yard line. So Robbinsville ostensibly back where they started. They started this drive at the 16. And 1 yard deeper now after that infraction on the hold. Gross is going to drop back to pass, escapes pressure. He's going to keep it. He's got enough for the 1st down. Great field awareness by senior quarterback Dason Gross. Gets all the yardage he needs and then promptly moves the chains. Scampers out of bounds at the 39-yard line. So a great run. And 22 yards on that carry. Handoff to Adams. He'll get about 4 yards on that carry. Tackled by number 22, Carter Hoyle, linebacker for the Mountaineers. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. The Mountaineers have done their homework. They've got Adams scouted. He has not broken loose yet tonight for one of his trademark long runs. And Cage Williams didn't get anywhere that time either. Big tackle made by the Mountaineers. Number 44, Joe Conley, stopping Williams in his tracks. Loss of 1, 3rd down and 7 with 2:32 left to go here in the first half. Big tackle for Conley. And Gross now on 3rd and 7. Quick pass, batted down. And Gage Brandt swats that pass down. Didn't pick it off, but he did get a hand on it. And on 4th and 7, after the Knights showed some promise, they're going to have to punt the ball away. Isaac Wiggins back to punt the ball at the 28-yard line. And the punt is off, and it's a good one. All the way back to the... And he's still on his feet, so we're going to try it. Brock Adams, I beg your pardon, on the quick tackle. So the Mountaineers get the ball back at the 19-yard line. And with 2:07 left to go here in the second quarter, Robbinsville is facing a shutout at the moment. Mountaineers lead 14-0 here in the 1A Western Regional Final. Coming to you live here on the Graham Star Facebook page from Memorial Stadium here in Bakersville, North Carolina. Derbyfield gets his orders from the sideline. And flag's going to blow that one dead. That may be a false start. Actually, the Knights called a timeout. I beg your pardon. So the Knights called their first timeout of the half. And 2:05 left to go here in the second quarter. We'll pause with them for just a moment here on Facebook Live. Tonight's telecast of Robbinsville football is being sponsored by Robbinsville Pallet Company, Blevins Insurance, Blevins Electric, Jeb's Corner Market, Gibson Insurance, Coy Adams Lumber Company, Adams Contracting, Lovin Contracting, Nora's Cottages, and K&B Land Clearing. We want to thank all of those sponsors for helping make these postseason telecasts possible here on the Graham Star Facebook page. 14-0 Mitchell with 2:05 left to go here in the first half of the 1A Western Regional Final. Of course, the winner of this one, as we've mentioned, will get to face the winner of Tarboro and Pender in the state championship game next Saturday. That game is scheduled for a noon kickoff from Keenan Stadium on the campus of UNC Chapel Hill. Mitchell has it first and 10 after forcing a Robbinsville punt. Turbyfield throws past bobble, but caught by number 26, Gage Young, and he scampers out of bounds. Looks like at the 26-yard line. We'll mark him at the 25, so a gain of 6 on the short pass. Young had a hard time bringing that one in, but finally caught it for the completion. 2nd and 4 with 1:59 left here in the first half. Robbinsville will get the ball back to begin the second half of the game. And that pass is somehow caught. What a great reception. But Young is banged up after that. A little slow to get up. He's going to hang out for just a moment and try to recoup his senses. Sandwiched by the Robbinsville defense. And he's still down on the field, and that is not a good sign. They're going to check on him for just a moment. 19-yard reception for Young. And while they check on him, we will pause for just a moment. Stay with us here on Facebook Live. And the crowd on their feet as Young pops up. I think he just needed a moment to catch his breath. He got sandwiched by a pair of Robbinsville defenders. And we'll resume play with 1 minute and 53 seconds left here in the second quarter. Mitchell Mountaineers leading Robbinsville 14-0 here in the 1A Western Regional Final. Turbyfield, quick pass to the right, complete. And that was number 21, that's Dalton Hollifield with his second reception of the game for Mitchell. 2nd and 4 after the 6-yard completion. Pass will be complete on the reception that time. Caden Phillips, number 11. Tackles made by Brock Adams, Jude Campbell, and Briley Tolbert helping out the effort. And I believe the Mountaineers have now called a timeout, their final one of the half. Stay with us, folks. Mitchell's trying to drive it in one last time before the break. The Mountaineers lead Robbinsville 14-0, 1 minute and 7 seconds to go. 14-0, Mitchell leading Robbinsville with 1:07 to go here in the second quarter of the 1A Western Regional Final from Bakersville, North Carolina. Turbyfield drops back to pass. 1st and 10. He airs it out, and it is going to be incomplete, intended for number 7, Ethan Willis. Deep pass. That could have been another touchdown. Back on the coverage, though, Dalton Hill and Zeke Silvers making sure that Willis had nowhere to go. Tarboro and Pender are tied 12-12 in the Eastern Final right now. 2nd and 10 here with 1:01 left to go. The Knights will get the ball back to begin the second half. Down by 2 scores. Turbyfield has accounted for both Mitchell touchdowns tonight. A 35-yard and a 2-yard keeper in the first and second quarters. Under pressure now. He's going to escape it, I believe. Airs out a pass, and it is complete. What a reception by Dalton Holofield. My goodness, what a great catch. Holofield, a junior receiver for Mitchell, and that moves it all the way down to the 14-yard line. But we've got a flag laying back at the 26, and that may be costly. Officials going over is a personal foul against Robbinsville. So that's going to back him up even more. 51 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. A 29-yard reception. And after the penalty, the ball will be all the way at the 7-yard line of the Knights. So Robbinsville with 2 penalties so far in this quarter. And the ball at the 7-yard line. Turbyfield is going to drop back, looking for an open receiver. Under pressure again. He's going to scamper. And they're trying to signal a touchdown. They're going to say he was stopped a yard short at the 1-yard line. Clock stops with 26 seconds left. And needless to say, the Mountaineers would love to get one more score before the break. 2nd and goal. Turbyfield in there. Touchdown. Flipped by Dalton Hill at the end, but too little too late. As the Mountaineers have struck again. It's 20-0 Mitchell with 22 seconds left here in the first half. Wassinger out for the point after. Kick is up. It's low, and it is going to be no good. Robbinsville is going to try to recoup as they go to the break. 20-0 is your score from Bakersville. Back in just a moment here on Facebook Live. Welcome back to Bakersville. 20-0 is your score from Memorial Stadium here on Facebook Live. This is the 1A Western Regional Final as Ben Wassinger lines up for the kickoff at the 40-yard line. And it's up and it's deep. Brock Adams back to catch it at the 4, and we'll see what he can do. It's going to be a lateral to Cutler Adams, but it is snuffed out at the 13-yard line. about a 9-yard return after all the chicanery. And Robbinsville will begin their next drive at the 14 with little time on the clock. Check out the 13. 1st and 10. And a handoff goes to Williams, muscling his way up through the pile. And the Knights aren't even going to bother to stop the clock. That's going to be the last play of the first half. Mitchell has come out and run up a 20-0 gamut for the Knights to overcome. Robbinsville will get the ball back to begin the second half, but have a lot of things to figure out, and they've got to do it quickly if they want to punch their second state championship appearance in 3 seasons. Both teams back out on the field to stretch out and get ready to begin the second half of play tonight from Bakersville. We are live from Mitchell High School and Memorial Stadium as the Mountaineers have a 20-0 lead over the Robbinsville Black Knights. You're watching the 1A Western Regional Final here on Facebook Live. I want to make one more mention of our sponsors before we resume play. We want to thank Robbinsville Pallet Company, Blevins Insurance, Blevins Electric, Jeb's Corner Market, Gibson Insurance, Coy Adams Lumber Company, Adams Contracting, Levin Contracting, Nora's Cottages, and K&B Land Clearing. Those sponsors have made tonight's telecast and all postseason telecasts possible here on the Graham Star Facebook page. With 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter of the 1A Eastern Regional Final, Pender and Tarboro are tied 12-12. Pender has just intercepted the Vikings and are trying to drive down the field and break the deadlock. Of course, the winner of that game will face the winner of the one you're watching right here on the Graham Star Facebook page tonight, Robbinsville and Mitchell, next week in the state championship. That'll be played on December the 11th at high noon from UNC Chapel Hill's Keenan Stadium. And the Knights obviously are trying to get there. Meanwhile, Mitchell looking for its first state championship appearance since 2015. And if the Knights cannot get Ty Turbyfield stymied, they may be very well on their way to that. Robbinsville, of course, in their 4th straight Western Regional Final here tonight. 3-time defending Smoky Mountain Conference champions, 3 times in a row. Knights won it 2019, 2020, and, of course, this season. And the Knights faithful on their feet as Robbinsville jogs out onto the field. Back really deep to receive is Cutler Adams. And Brock Adams, I'm sure, back there to join him in just a moment. Ben Weisinger has the ball teed up, and we're just about set to resume action here from Memorial Stadium in Bakersville. And the kick is up, and the third quarter is underway. Adams on the reception, still on his feet, and hit inside the 30-yard line. Might got up around the 33, and that's where the Knights will begin things 1st and 10 for their next drive. Robbinsville's got to cover, looks like they marked it 34, so they got to cover about 66 yards here and really need to get something going quick or this game could get out of reach in a hurry. Mitchell has made a fine work tonight of chewing up minutes on the clock with each possession. Robbinsville in the eye, handoff to Cutler Adams, and he gets inside and not a lot farther. About 2 yards on that carry. 2nd down and 8. And we'll see if Robbinsville can come up with anything here on 2nd and 8. Gross under center. He's going to roll out and pass on 2nd and 8. Picked off. Interception by the Mountaineers. Number 22, that's Carter Hoyle with the pick. And 2 plays in, Robbinsville has coughed the ball up once again to this potent Mitchell offense. At the Mountaineers 30, and the Mountaineers are at the Robbinsville 32-yard line after that pick. First and 10. Turbyville gets inside and not a whole lot farther. Might have got about 3 yards coming up off the tackle. Senior Carlos Wesley. Give him 2 on that. 2nd and 8. Second interception of the game for Mitchell. And once again, Robbinsville's defense is on the field trying to stop Mitchell, who has run up a 20-0 gamut here in the third quarter of the 1A Western Regional Final. 10:40 left here in the third quarter. Turbyville's going to keep it on 2nd and 8, and again wrapped up and tackled. So the Knights doing a fine job so far of snuffing out Turbyville inside. Briley Tolbert wraps him up that time. Gain of 1, 3rd down and 7. And Tarboro has got a safety in the 1A Eastern Final, so that makes it 14-12 in the fourth quarter. The Vikings edging the Patriots at the moment. 3rd and 7. And he has got nothing but wide open field. He's going to run up the sideline, barely untouched, and score another Mountaineers touchdown. My word. A misdirection, and he had nothing in front of him but real estate. 29-yard touchdown run, and it is 26-0. Weisinger heads out onto the field for the PAT. And kick is up, and it is good. Robbinsville has got to stop Mitchell quick. Game getting out of hand as 26-0 Mountaineers. Stay with us here on Facebook Live. Welcome back to the 1A Western Regional Final from Mitchell. And Adams is trying to return it. Had some open room for a moment, but finally dropped. Great return for Adams at the 35-yard line. Robbinsville is down 27-0 with 9 minutes and 45 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. And the Knights break the huddle as they begin things 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line. Gross hands off to Isaac Wiggins that time. And Wiggins, his first touch of the game, gets about 9 yards. 2nd down and 1. So 2nd and 1 at the 40. And Williams right up the gut. It's going to get enough for the first down. Williams is going to get 4 yards on that carry. And the Knights move the chains. The normally potent Robbinsville offense has been limited tonight on first downs. Trying to get something going here in the third quarter. They trail Mitchell 27-0. Cutler Adams on the carry. Around the left side, he's got some room. Finally, a decent run for Cutler Adams. Able to get some help. And a flag, of course, trickled out onto the field. It's going to be a hold against Robbinsville. And the effort is negated. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. And Robbinsville will have to back up and try it again at the 41-yard line. So all in all, a 3-yard loss. And it's about 1st and 13 now. Gross fires. Pass complete to Cutler Adams. Able to snag that one out of the grasp of a Mitchell defender. And I'm sorry I did not quite see who that was. But that's about a 7-yard completion. Brings up 2nd down and about 7 for Robbinsville. Handoff to Cage Williams. And that's a nice gain for Williams, the fullback. It's about 5 yards on the carry. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and 2. $27-0 Mountaineers in the driver's seat right now with 7:52 left in the 3rd quarter. Knights roll out 3 wide. And on 3rd down, they're going to give it to Adams. He'll get enough for the 1st down. Still on his feet. Up the sideline. He's at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Robbinsville. Not a flag to be seen. And finally, the Knights have broken the deadlock. It is 27-6. 47-yard touchdown run for Cutler Adams makes it 27-6. 7:34 left here in the 3rd quarter. Gross holds for Cody Klein, making his first appearance for a PAT tonight, and it's good. Stay with us, folks. We're not done yet. The Knights have got to get a stop next, but they've gotten in the game. It's 27-7 from Memorial Stadium at Mitchell High School. All right, fans, welcome back to Bakersville. Robbinsville has finally broken through. It's 27-7 with 7 minutes and 34 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Knights are trying a rally bid here after the Mountaineers opened up a 27-point advantage. Short kickoff. And a flag is going to come out. It may have been some unintentional contact, but it's going to be costly as a fair catch was called for either way. Cutler Adams scored on a 47-yard touchdown run moments ago to get Robbinsville on the board. And it is going to be a late hit on Robbinsville. And that'll back them up and give Mitchell some great field position to begin things. 1st and 10 at the Robbinsville 42-yard line. First and 10 now. Pitch goes to Turbyville. And he runs inside and doesn't get far. Coming up off the tackle, number 77, Titan Teesteski. Gain of, call it 1. Call it a short 1. 2nd and 9. Turbyfield drops back. 2nd and 9. It's under pressure, and he grounds it, but they're not going to call it that. So, 3rd down and 9.
Ray Charles could have seen that was intentional grounding. I saw that from this vantage point. Number 3 is going to make a 3rd down.
Not sure why that wasn't called intentional grounding, much to the chagrin of some of our media up here in the press box. But nonetheless, 27-7 is where we stand. And it's 3rd and 9 for the Mountaineers. And Turbyfield right up the gut, and that's about as far as he's going to get. Wrapped up and tackled by Cutler Adams, Jude Campbell, and Zeke Silver's in there on that one as well. They're going to give Turbyfield, looks like 4 yards. 4th down and 5. And the Mountaineers face with another 4th down. So Mitchell going for it. 4th and 5. Tarboro up 22-12 in the 1A Eastern Regional Final. So it looks like the Vikings are going to close that one out and face the winner of this one in the state title game. And I believe Mitchell called a timeout at the absolute last millisecond. And 5:52 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. We'll pause with them. Stay with us here on Facebook Live. So on 4th and 5, Mitchell calls a timeout to strategize on this big conversion. And we'll see what the Mountaineers have cooked up here on 4th down. Looking for an open receiver. And he's going to be stopped, I believe, just shy of the 1st down marker. I believe that's going to be 4 yards, but about a yard shy. Ball spotted at the 33-yard line. And it will be an official timeout as they're going to bring the chains onto the field and measure this one. From all intents and purposes, it looks like it's about a yard shy, but we'll see where they mark it.
And don't you know that the Mountaineers are eager for a win tonight?
Turbyfield with a great effort there to try and get all he could on that. And the ball, lining it up here right in your bottom right-hand corner of the screen. And Robbinsville has stopped him. That is about 6 inches shy of a 1st down. And what a break for the Knights, able to stop Mitchell on 4th down. And it's going to be a turnover as the Black Knights head back out on the field at the 33-yard line, 1st and 10. So a big stop for Robbinsville, and now the Knights really got to take advantage of this. 1st and 10 at the 33. And Adams on the carry that time. How about 2nd and 6 after the 4-yard carry? 5:17 left here in the third quarter. It's now or never for Robbinsville, trying to drive downfield and cut this to a 2-score deficit. Quick pass complete to Adams, but he's going to actually be wrapped up for a loss. Snuffed out by Chase Duncan, defensive back for the Mountaineers. And a loss of 1. And it's going to be 3rd down and about 8, so a loss of 2, excuse me. Knights have got to get something rolling here quick, or this one's going to get away. Gross under center. Pitch goes to Isaac Wiggins. He's going to try and keep it. He gets about, we'll call it 5 yards, but unable to move the chains. Fourth down and about 4. And the Knights really have no choice but to go for it here on 4th and 4. 3:59 and counting left to go here in the third quarter. Gross is going to roll out under pressure, still on his feet, and he will not get enough. That is going to get another Mitchell offensive drive rolling as Gross is stopped a yard shy of the marker. A great effort and a pair of turnovers. Possession goes back to the Mountaineers with about 3:45 left. First and 10 for Mitchell at the Robbinsville 41-yard line. Knights go 4 and out. Stopped on a 4th down conversion attempt. And it's back to the Mountaineers, who lead 27-7 here in the third quarter. Turbyfield still on his feet. Finally tripped up and tackled by Brock Adams low. All he could do to slow down Turbyfield that time. Gain of 5. 2nd and 5 for Mitchell. 3:20 left to go here in the third quarter. Both teams have traded a pair of 4th down conversions that failed, and it's back to Mitchell. Mountaineers holding all the cards right now. Tarboro has wrapped up that game against Pender, 22-12 your final. So the Vikings will meet the winner of this game in the 1A state championship game next Saturday. And the chains move. 1st and 10 for Mitchell after the 5-yard run. And Mitchell truly in control of this game at the moment, up 27-7, and they have the ball and are doing everything they can to run the clock out. 2:35 left here in the third quarter. Robbinsville's season quickly getting away from them here. Certainly don't want to spoil things tonight here in Mitchell. Looking to advance to their 2nd state championship game in 3 years. Mitchell is doing a fine job of preventing that so far, though. And a keeper for Turbyfield, tackled by Cage Williams for Robbinsville. Ball out at the 28-yard line, it looks like. So 3 yards. They'll try it again. 2nd and 7 with 1:49 left here in the third quarter. Turbyfield again, still up on his feet. He gets enough for the first down, though, about a 5-yard run. And that's all they needed to move the chains again and give Mitchell a fresh set of downs. Make that a 7-yard run, excuse me. Mitchell doing all they can to dictate the pace of this one and doing a fine job as we dip it to the minute 18 mark here in the third quarter.
Patriots final score 22-12. The Patriots fall to the Vikings. They are advancing. Number 1 seeded.
Ball at the 19 and 5/8 yard line right now for the Mountaineers.
22-12. Vikings are
Robbinsville trying to get a stop here. Something's got to give quick. Handoff. Turbyfield is going to keep it. Still on his feet. Tripped up by Zeke Silvers at the 1-yard line. So an 18-yard run. Actually going to stop him at 2, so a 17-yard run. And the Mountaineers are threatening to strike again and open up a 4-score lead heading into the fourth quarter.
27-7 in favor of the Mountains.
33 seconds left to go here in the third quarter, and Mitchell will try to get one more play off before the end of the segment. Turbyfield's keeping it. Plows in. Touchdown for Mitchell. And Turbyfield breaks the plane with 17 seconds left to go. Mitchell has done it again. 33-6, your gamut right now. And the PAT will make that a more sizable advantage here in just a moment. Weisinger did miss the last point after attempt. Excuse me, two attempts ago, I beg your pardon. And the kick is up. And it is good. Robbinsville will jog back to the sideline and strategize. 34-7 is your score from Bakersville. Back in just a moment here on Facebook Live.
Actually, I'm sorry, 34. All right, we've got a pause in the action. We're going to take one as well. You're listening to the live broadcast of Robbinsville Black Knight Football, 95.9 WCBT Robbinsville, 102.7 WCNG Murphy, 101.3
Welcome back to Bakersville. It's 34-7. Mitchell in full control of this game. Brock Adams is going to snag the kickoff at the 18-yard line. And he'll get hit around the 25. It's about a 7-yard return. First and 10 for the Knights at their own 25-yard line. Dason Gross under center. One play left to go here in the third quarter. He's going to hand it off to Cutler Adams, and Adams is going to drive forward about 5 or 6 yards. And I'll give him 5, and that's going to do it. The Mitchell Mountaineers have opened up a 34-7 lead over Robbinsville. Stay with us for the final 12 minutes from Bakersville here on Facebook Live. Welcome back here on Facebook Live. This is the 1A Western Regional Final. All you fans tuning in with us here on Facebook are watching a dominant Mitchell showing so far tonight as the Mountaineers are up 34-7 over the Robbinsville Black Knights. The winner will get Tarboro in the state finals next week. Tarboro knocked off Pender a few minutes ago, 22-12. Cutler Adams squeaks across the first down marker out to the 37-yard line. First and 10 now. Pitch goes to Adams, and he's dropped at the 40-yard line. So a gain of 4. Second down and 7. They'll actually mark it a yard shy. Gross drops back to pass, and it is incomplete, intended for Isaac Wiggins, but it comes up a little short. Third down and 7.
Number 21, Dalton McMahon for the Mountaineers. Almost intercepted, but
so it's 3rd and 7 now for Robbinsville as the season quickly getting away from the Knights with 10:55 left to go in this one, and Robbinsville down 34-7. Gross is going to keep it. He's got enough for a first down, still on his feet, and all the way up to the 40, still on his feet, still not brought down, finally wrapped up and tackled by Ethan Willis. Great run by Gross on the keeper. And that's a big first down for Robbinsville. Give him 41 yards on that carry. First and 10 now as the Knights are in the Mountaineers red zone. 10:21 left to go in this one. Handoff to Cutler Adams again. And he cuts up inside the 15. Sizable run by the Knights.
they're going to call it 2nd and 5.
They're going to call it 2nd and 5.
10 minutes left.
And clock dips under the 10-minute mark here in the game. Handoff goes to Adams again, and that time he got nowhere. Tried to hit that inside and was stuffed promptly by the Mountaineers. Leading the charge, number 32, Enrique Huraco. No gain, 3rd and 5. And Robbinsville desperately trying to get something going. Stop here would just about seal the deal for Mitchell, though. Pitch goes to Adams. Around the left side. Evades disaster, stiff arms, but runs out of bounds under pressure from Chase Duncan for the Mountaineers. That's going to bring up 4th down for Robbinsville. And if you're the Knights, you all but have to go for it here. No gain again. Adams has been stymied on 2 consecutive runs. 4th down and 5. And Gross is going to lob a pass complete to Cutler Adams. That'll be enough for a first down. And then some. He dives, but he's going to drop it out of bounds at the, looks like the 3-yard line. So about a 13-yard completion is going to move the chains and set up a chance for Robbinsville to strike again late here in the 4th quarter. Down 34-7. The Knights trying to get more offense going quickly, as it's desperation time for the Knights. Clock stops with 9 minutes exactly left to go here in the 1A Western Regional Final. And Adams jogs off the field. got a little tangled up with the sideline judge, and that may have banged him up a little bit on the dive out of bounds. Handoff to Dalton Hill, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and not much further. Second and goal from the 4. Second and goal at the 4. Cage Williams on the carry that time for the Knights. Maybe got a half a yard there. Third and goal for Robbinsville now at the 4. 34-7 with 7:58 to go. The Knights are quickly running out of time. Gross is going to open up a pass. Going to be incomplete. Brock Adams didn't break on it in a matter of time. Gross was exploring his options, and Adams wasn't ready for the ball to be chunked to him.
7 minutes, 45 seconds left in the ball game.
And we've got 7:45 left to go after that incomplete pass. It's going to be 4th and goal for Robbinsville from the 4-yard line. Mitchell leading 34-7. Crowd on their feet. Gross is going to pass it under pressure, and it is incomplete. Intended for Brock Adams, but he drops it. May have never got a hand on it, not sure. And the incomplete pass will turn the ball over to the Mountaineers with 7.5 minutes left to go at the 4-yard line. And sadly for the Knights, it's about academic at this point. It would take a miracle for them to get back into this game down by 27 points to the Mountaineers. 7:40 to go. And Carter Hull breaks free. Still going and wrapped up finally at the 19-yard line. That's the way to get away from the end zone. Tackled by Zeke Silvers. 15-yard run for Carter Hoyle, and it's a first down for the Mountaineers. Make no mistake about it, the Mountaineers are going to do everything they can to not get that ball back into Robbinsville's hands right now. They're going to try to run the clock out, up 34-7. And Derbyfield right up the gut on the keeper. Give him about 3 yards on that one. Second down and 7. Mitchell doing everything they can here to run the clock down. Play clock at 10 seconds now. Derbyfield's going to hand it off. Ball comes loose. And I believe Robbinsville might have snagged that fumble. And they did. Ladies and gentlemen, number 77, Titan Teesteski with a fumble recovery. There's a bright spot for his debut season with the Knights. And Robbinsville jogs back out on the field at the 17-yard line. First and 10 now for Robbinsville. 6:16 left to go in the ball game. Gross rolls out to pass. He's going to keep it. Still on his feet. Finally pulled down out of bounds at the 14-yard line. So after all the effort, a 3-yard run for Gross. Cannot discount the performance tonight of Mitchell quarterback Ty Turbyfield. He has 5 rushing touchdowns. He's accounted for all of Mitchell's offense tonight. And the defense is taking care of the rest, limiting Robbinsville to just 7 points. Cutler Adams and Cage Williams in the backfield. Adams not back there. That was Gross. Still on his feet. Still evading pressure. Pass complete to Cage Williams for a touchdown. And Robbinsville has struck again with 6:01 left to go. It's now 34-13.
But what was number 22, Carter Hoyle? He was jumping like a bunny.
And PAT set up here for Cody Klein. Going to trim the deficit a little bit. Kick is up, and it is way good. Knights will jog back to the sideline after another touchdown. 34-14 is your score. 6 minutes to go here in the Western Regional Final.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to this live broadcast of Robbinsville Black Knights football on 95.9 WCBP, 102.7 WCNG Murphy, and 101.3 Blairsville.
And Klein's going to line up, and you can just about bet on an onside kick here as Robbinsville has got to get the ball back. Don't want to cough it up to Mitchell again. 6 minutes to go. And it's a high kick. That's going to drop and fall. And Mitchell will begin things 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line.
Best we can hope for is another interception.
.601 to go here in the fourth quarter. Handoff is going to go to number 26, Gabe Young. Ball out to the 36-yard line, so a gain of 8 for Young. Makes it 2nd down and 2. 5.5 minutes left to go here in the Western Regional Final. Second and 2 for the Mountaineers. Handoff is going to go to number 4, that's Chase Duncan. And Duncan's going to get enough for a 1st down. Tackled by Zeke Silvers. Two yards, all they needed there, and Mountaineers have refreshed their downs.
Under 5 minutes to play.
Clock dips under 5 minutes to go.
Under 5 minutes to play. We need 3 more touchdowns to lead the Mitchell Mountaineers. Anything's possible. 5 minutes is a long time. Flag on the play.
Another carry by Young, but a flag comes out.
First one I've seen tonight. You know, visible.
And that'll back up the Mountaineers. I believe. We'll see what the official calls here. Mitchell is backing up a little bit. It is going to be a hold against the Mountaineers. 4:25 to go. Penalty has been declined. That's going to make it 2nd and 11 at the 38-yard line. 34-14 Mitchell with 4:20 left to go in the ball game. Clock running. Mitchell leads by 20 and are well on their way to their first state finals appearance since 2015. Of course, the Knights are making their 4th straight Western Regional final appearance, won the state championship in 1A in 2019, and have scrapped their way back from a rough start this year to a 10-3 record. And you hate to see their season end this way, but Mitchell has definitely showed up tonight and stood strong on their home turf. 2-yard run. Like at 3. 3rd down and 8. 3:24 to go. And it's 3rd and 8. 34-14 your score. As it stands right now, Mitchell is going to advance to the the 1A state championship game and play Tarboro next Saturday in Chapel Hill. Hand off to Turbyville. He tries to run up the gut. He's wrapped up promptly by Titan Teesteski. And that's going to bring up 4th down and a timeout called by Robbinsville. And the Knights are going to think things over on 4th and 8 as their season is quickly wrapping up, hoping for a miracle with 2:57 to go. One more time while we have a moment, we are going to thank our sponsors: Robbinsville Pallet Company, Blevins Insurance, Blevins Electric, Jeb's Corner Mart, Gibson Insurance, Coy Adams Lumber Company, Adams Contracting, Loving Contracting, Norris Cottages, and K&B Land Clearing. All of our sponsors making these postseason telecasts possible here on the Graham Star Facebook page. If you're just tuning in, folks, it's not a good sign for Robbinsville. It's 34-14 with 2:57 to go. Mountaineers are faced with a 4th and 8, but behind 5 touchdowns tonight from quarterback Ty Turbyfield, Mitchell has ran up a strong gamut, and their defense is taking care of Robbinsville until the second half. And the punt is going to go up, and Brock Adams is going to scoop it up at the 14, and he's going to try to take off under pressure, and that's going to get stopped at the 10-yard line. Mitchell on great coverage there. And if Robbinsville is going to get anywhere near the end zone and make it a 2-possession game, they're going to have to do it in the blink of an eye, and they're going to have to do it in 90 yards. 2:44 to go. Don't forget, fans, we will have all of these games released on our YouTube page for viewing at your leisure. Just follow the Graham Star on Facebook. And, of course, if you subscribe, you might be able to help us enhance our broadcast. Hint, hint. 1st and 10. Hand off to Cage Williams. He finds a hole and gets out to the 25, 26-yard line before being tackled by Gabe Brandt for the Mountaineers. So a 16-yard quick run by the big fullback, Cage Williams. 2.5 minutes to go. Robbinsville has 2 timeouts remaining in this half. Gross is going to roll out to the left. Still on his feet. Scampers out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
It's going to be a first down because I saw him run past the first down.
8 yards for Gross. Second down and 2. About 2 minutes to go. Clock stops. 2:13 left. Don't forget, we'll be back with you tomorrow. 4 o'clock, Robbinsville hosts Inca for wrestling action in the Ville. Pass complete to Brock Adams. He gets a tiptoe inside, and that's all he needed. Ball up to the 45-yard line. And that's 1st and 10 for Robbinsville as they are desperately scrambling after the 11-yard completion. 2:07 left, and the clock did stop. Gross rolls back to pass. Still on his feet. Still scrambling. He's going to dart out of bounds, stopping the clock again at the 47-yard line. Nice run by Gross. Again, stops the clock. Makes it about 2nd and 3, so a 7-yard run for Gross as Robbinsville is desperately trying to get on the scoreboard again and get the ball back. 2 minutes to go. Yes, I've heard it said tonight already. Anything is possible. But it's going to be a tough comeback at this point. Pass. Almost picked off. Dropped by number 21, Dalton Hollifield. 3rd down and 2. .156 left. We will also be broadcasting Black Knights basketball action, which, if the score stands tonight, will begin next week. Stay with us as we carry you through the action on the hardwood all season long. Gross drops back. 3rd and 2. Examines his options. Still on his feet. He's going to get enough for the first down and run out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And that will be enough for a Knights first down. After all the effort, about an 8-yard run for Gross. Minute 48 seconds remaining in the game. And the Knights will take it now 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Gross back. Going to look for a pass. Whistles blow that play dead, though. False start against Robbinsville. Robbinsville's going to lose a talented group of seniors, including their quarterback and a bunch of talented linemen. But coming back, of course, next year will be Brock Adams, number 2, here at the bottom right corner of your screen, as well as the running backs in the field, Cutler Adams, and fullback Cage Williams. Pass complete to Isaac Wiggins, another senior for the Knights, trying to keep his season alive. He is German suplex to the ground by Gabe Brandt at the 21-yard line. 19-yard completion. Check that. It's going to be even farther. I beg your pardon. That's all the way out to the 11, so that's a 30-yard completion.
Minute 27, the clock's still running.
And the Knights are trying to get on the scoreboard one more time in this one. Minute 17 to go. And a handoff to Cage Williams, still on his feet up to the 5. And Robbinsville is going to reassess things inside the goal line now with a minute to go. Make no mistake about it, Mitchell came to play tonight. 5 touchdowns from junior quarterback Ty Turbyfield, and a stubborn defensive effort has kept Robbinsville at bay, kept them at bay until the 3rd quarter. Big hit inside. Adams on the run and couldn't get far on that, unfortunately. And no gain. 3rd down and about 4. Robbinsville calls a timeout. 37 seconds to go. They trail 34-14. Welcome back to Mitchell Memorial Stadium here in Bakersville, where Robbinsville's season is soon to come to an end unless a miracle occurs. Mitchell leads 34-14 with 37 seconds to go. Robbinsville is at the 10-yard line and trying to cut this down to a 2-score game with little time left to make a miracle happen. Gross is going to roll out and keep it. He's eyeing the end zone. He's going to dive in. And he'll get it. Touchdown signal by the officials. Referee slid into that one. And that's going to make it 34-20 after a 10-yard keeper from Gross. With 28 seconds left to go. And Klein will jog out on the field for the PAT, which is going to cut to 34-21 should he make it. And Klein's been pretty consistent on PATs this season. Another senior that we're going to really miss next year. His special teams effort has helped, even win games really this season, as his field goal at Murphy actually clinched a 23-20 victory for Robbinsville during the regular season. PAT cuts to 13, 28 seconds to go as the Knights are scrambling here in the last few seconds. Just out of our camera view, Coach Travis Pittman for the Mountaineers gets a Gatorade bath. Starting to begin to be a cool night up here, but still rather warm up on the high country mountain of Bakersville. 28 seconds left, and Robbinsville has just struck again. It's 34-21 with 28 seconds left in the Western Regional Final. You can almost guarantee an onside kick here, as the Knights are going to do everything they can to get the ball back one last time.
Also, a big announcement, Big Six Oldies is now online. You can find us at zeno.fm/BIG600.
Klein lines up for the onside kick. And the kick is straight up. And they're going to snag it. Number 7, Ethan Willis. So I guess the onside kick was not in the cards. I spoke too soon. And that's all we're going to wrap it up.
28 seconds left in the ball game.
28 seconds to go. And we will see what Mitchell does on what could very well be its final play at the 26-yard line.
I'm not sure what happened to the Black Knights.
Mitchell has played an amazing game tonight. And there's the kneel, and that will do it. Robbinsville's season is going to sadly come to a close here in the Western Regional Final. Mitchell, however, will celebrate in jubilation, advancing to their first 1A state finals since 2015. Great game by the Mountaineers, great showcase, and Robbinsville is going to have to head back to the Graham County dejected and try again next year. Unfortunately for the Knights program, Mitchell held all the cards tonight. And the fans are fired up as we're heading out to the 50-yard line. Folks, it has been an absolute privilege to bring you Robbinsville football all season long here on the Graham Star Facebook page. We hope for a trip next week to Chapel Hill Instead, we're going to settle for 1A Western Regional runner-up. Stay with us, folks. Sports coverage won't end. Wrestling tomorrow, basketball next week, and we'll keep the good vibes rolling in Graham County. Final score tonight in the 1A Western Regional Final, Mitchell 34, Robbinsville 21. Good night, everybody, from Bakersville.